congratulations to everyone. Congratulations, whether it's for you or whether it's for one of your loved ones. I'm really happy that we all get to stand together here and share in this really joyous occasion. I think that's awesome. So congratulations and thank you. Mr. Koch started his speech this morning by saying that we're going to want to remember this place and these people right now who are with in this moment. And he said that we should take a selfie to remember it. And because I'm in a pretty unique position here, if you guys don't mind just scooching together for a sec. This is going to look so awesome on Facebook. Alright. So I really wanted to have that picture because I really do want to remember this because I think that we had a great time in high school. Albert Einstein explains his theory of relativity by saying, if you put your hand on a hot stove, a minute can feel like an hour. But if you put your hand on a hot lady, then an hour can feel like a minute. And standing here right now, I don't feel like this is the end of 4 long years. I feel like I'm opening my eyes after blinking them. So if Einstein's theory is true, according to that, I think we had a pretty great time in high school together. So I'm truly happy to be here and happy that I get to thank all of you, the teachers, the students, and all of the rest of the staff, the administration, for being more like a hot lady than a hot stove. So thank you for that. So when I started writing this speech last night, I realized I had no idea what to say. The individual personalities, the class of 2014, have made us unique. And they've sent us down very different, very unique roads. But I realized that regardless of what path that is, we have all grown and learned along the way. From our classes, teachers, families, and personal experience, it is impossible to say that we all aren't leaving this school as better people for having walked in the doors. I know sometimes it's hard when you're using the rational number theorem to isolate the zeros of a radical 7-degree polynomial to see how what you're doing affects your life. But standing with all you together at graduation, now more than ever, I can say with 100% conviction that we have benefited from every single class we took in high school. Even if the only thing we learned from our worst class was how to deal with learning, how to deal with solving problems, then no class was a waste. Except advisory, am I right, guys? No, but seriously, math class taught us how to apply a set of skills, rules, and principles to solve any problem that's put in front of us, and I think that's a pretty important life skill. English class taught us how to read between the lines and how to determine the true meaning in just about everything, which I think is extremely valuable. In science class, we learned that we don't fail, we just learn ways that don't work, and that the only true failure is in giving up. In history class, we learned from our accomplishments as well as from our mistakes. And in humanities, we learned respect for ourselves and for others. In art, we learned to respect what we make. In music, we learned to respect others' tastes. In language, to respect their culture. And in theater, to respect their character. And the wonderful thing about high school that you don't get when you're, you don't get when you're a valedictorian and you're stupid when you come in, is that the stupider you are, the more opportunities you have to learn. And I feel blessed with a lot of learning opportunities when I was a stupid newcomer coming into high school. So I want to share one of my lessons with you. It's a little bit embarrassing. It's a lesson that my incomparable idiocy set me up for perfectly. And I consider it probably the most important thing I learned in high school. So, here goes. Freshman year, while under considerable peer pressure and social stress, which are words we use to justify our dumb choices, I made the mistake of consuming alcohol. Then I made the much bigger mistake of coming to the school's Halloween dance because I never had a sip of alcohol in my life, and because Raul's mama over there didn't raise no fool, I was very quickly found out. So all of a sudden, a week later, I had my probation officer, who was a new person to me, asking me what I could do, what kind of activities I could do to stay out of trouble. And because skateboarding isn't really the poster sport for wholesome youth, I was like, I'm on the debate team. And the probation officer was like, oh great, that's awesome, I'll call and check in with your debate coach and talk about the work you're doing, and if everything's all good, we can cut your community service in half. And I was like, sweet. And then I was like, oh, now I gotta do debate. I didn't know at the time that being on the debate team was absolutely going to be the most fun and educational experience of my entire high school career. Traveling for debate was the incentive that made me keep up my grades throughout high school. I had some great times and made some of the best friends on the debate team. So the lesson that I learned, that I like to think about when my dumb choices get me into bad situations throughout my life, is to just try to be positive and not to jump to conclusions or withhold your judgment until the situation fully plays out. Because you truly never know when something that seems like a mess in the present can actually be a really great opportunity in the future. If I had known that getting into trouble is what would have led me to the thing that I loved most in high school, I probably wouldn't have looked at it as such a bad thing. My mom probably still would have been pretty pissed, but can't win them all, so there's another lesson. Now that being said, I truly don't think that anyone in this class has anything to worry about. As a class, we've had way more sex than, way more success than any of the past classes in Wood River. Mr. Dervich mentioned that our hard work over these 4 years is what has helped elevate this school to its 5-star status. But you guys also realize that we're the only class ever to get 2 spring breaks in a row? While the rest of the school was testing, the class of 2014 was on spring break 2.0. You guys remember that? That was awesome. We stuck together, we demanded justice, and we made that happen. And I think we should hold on to those skills later. And Mr. Jervich, I think we can admit to you right now that we weren't all that mad about missing our 6th grade environmental camp, but you made that happen for us and we really appreciate it. As a class, we enjoyed some pretty awesome times. We also this year experienced some of the lowest lows. And I can't stand here and speak right now without remembering and acknowledging the person who would probably be up here speaking in my place, Lane Coulthard. The qualities present in Lane are some of the most virtuous traits a person can have, and they don't just fade away. A question I often ask myself is, what would Lane do? I first asked this question when I was snowboarding on the mountain and deciding how much speed I needed to hit a jump with, and I decided to speed up. I consider it a blessing in my life and a true testament to Lane that I have a friend who motivates, inspires, encourages, and strengthens me every single day. And he doesn't even have to be here to do it. Master Yoda says, "Luminous beings we are, not this crude matter." Lane shows us how true those words are. And next year we will all be away from each other. We're all excited to move on, and I think it is bittersweet for all of us. But just because we'll all be away from our friends and family doesn't mean that the qualities we love about them won't be present in our lives every day. Like everyone says, life is full of ups and downs, but it's only how bad some things are that show us how good some things can be. So use the bad things in life as a lens to view the good things. Let the terrible things in life define how incredible it can be, and never let it be the other way around. So now, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to just wrap this up so we can all graduate. Thank you very much.